there everyone, this is Lilith and welcome to another YouTube Live here on the Alter New YouTube channel. I'm just going to wait for a couple of you to pop in and wave hello and then we can get started. So at the same time I'm just going to pull myself up on the screen, that way I can follow the comments a lot easier. There we go. Yay, and I can see myself. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of you to pop in, come and wave hello. And then we can get started. Hi Sue, how are you? Hi Belinda. Hi Megan. Hi Xiomara. Oh, I'm so happy to see some of you, some of the familiar faces here on YouTube Live. So I think I know a lot of the names I've been seeing pop up. So if you share this session while it is live, we will pick a lucky winner at the end of the YouTube live session, and you will get a $15 gift voucher to the Alter New store, which is great because we've got lots and lots of lovely new products and lots more products coming. So having $15 in the pocket is always a good idea. Hi there Denise. Okay, I hope you're all fine. I hope you're still enjoying summer. Hi there Lynn, or winter if you're down under. Hi there Pam. Here it's been, we're having a heat wave, so since last week nothing has changed. We are experiencing thunderstorms, so you might hear it rumble a little bit in the background. I do hope it's going to stay away. It's more in the center of the country, but we do need a little bit of rain, so it would be nice if we get a little bit of rain. So today I decided to use one of our newest stamps, and I don't know if you had the chance to go to the Alter New card blog, because we are doing a little blog hop with the mixed media inks. I will be using them a little bit today just to show you. Oh Sue, is it hot where you are as well? I think it's hot everywhere. So, oh, I've got to be careful because I think I've lost a little mask. I'm just going to bend down and get it. I've pulled everything out, but I also pulled out all the masks and they are all tumbling down. So I'm going to show you the products I'm going to be using today. I'm going to try and make sure the masks don't fall off. Okay, so today I have pulled out the Floral Minimalism, I can never say it correctly. I think I had to do my voiceover about 20 times. Floral Minimalism. I have to say it really slowly, otherwise it sounds like something a kid's trying to say. So Floral Minimalism Stamp Set, which I think was one of my favorites from the release, just because it's so whimsical and fun, and I think it's a great stamp for scrapbooking and making fun and funky backgrounds, and it's very simple layering and I just love it. I think this is a fun little stamp set. I've got the coordinating die, and it also comes with the mask stencil. So you get the mask, which you can see here, the stencil, sorry, summer brain, the stencil, which you can see here. Yeah, it's like that as well, Pauline. So you've got the stencil, and then you've also got all the centerpieces of the stencil, which means you've also got the masks. So you can mask off already stamped images and like kind of layer them one on top of the other. So I will be using the stencil, the masks, the dies, and the stamps today, and just thought I would use the whole set here. If you don't know it, you can buy the whole bundle, and if you're interested in having all three, and you don't have to put each of them separately into your basket. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip you down. So as most of you know, you will see my lovely ceiling, and then you will see my craft mat. So it's always a bit of a wiggle around. So, oops, it should go really quickly today because I kind of figured it out. There we go. And I'm going to, ooh, yay, my craft mat. So I might just move you forward a teeny tiny bit like so. and just wiggle it around a bit. So there we go. And because I like things to be straight, that's it. Okay. Okay, let's get started. Oh, and I think has just joined up us, so huge shout out to who is behind the badge, I think, because there was a question mark for today. So I've also pulled out our Greenfields Alter New Inks. I haven't pulled out the black. I've only got the 3 greens, but there is a black one in this set as well. And then we have got a lovely Red Cosmos set here, which is composed of 4 inks. We've got Frosty Pink, Coral Berry, Ruby Red, and Grapevine. So I'll be using those as well. This is a background that I had laying around. I thought I'd use that for one of the cards. And for my colors, I'm going to be using these mini inks. I've got the Golden Sunset. So the Golden Sunset, I only have the mini inks. I don't have the oval ones. I might have to order them. And then for the blues, I've got Lapis Lazuli. So these lovely colors in there. I do have the larger one, but I thought I'd just use the minis for this one. There we go. Okay. So let's get started. I'm going to start working on creating my little flowers, which I'm going to cut out. So I'm going to be using Marigold, and for my leaves, I'm going to go with something a little bit more funky. I'm going to be using the Ultramarine, which you can see here. So I'm going to start with my flowers, and you're going to see how simple these are to stamp. Yep, share, like the video. So I love these stamp sets because the flowers are really fun and easy and very whimsical, and I'm in a whimsical kind of mood. So I'm going to start with stamping a couple of flowers. I don't know if I'll use all of them, but I'm just going to go ahead and stamp a couple of them. That way they are already ready. I'm not going to use my stamping tool today. Let's just hope everything works out as it should. So let's go with our orange tones, and we're going to start with, I'm going to put them in the correct order, that way it's going to be super easy. I'm going to start with Sunray, and I am going to pull out a little cloth. I just cleaned them so they're nice and clean, and I'm going to ink up my stamp. I'm not prepping them at the moment, my stamps, because I used them quite recently. And I think they should be good. I just have, no, it's pooling. So I might just prep them again. There we go. Let's just give that a quick prep. Oh, let's give it a little rub. Better get these rubbed down as well. That way I don't need to do all of them separately. So yeah, this is the Golden Sunset mini cube set. But if you've got the larger ones, they will do. It's just because I love these colors and I do not have the oval pads. So I'm just going to go with this one. So I'm going to stamp this one in Sunray. I'm going to press like so. Ooh, pretty. So I'm just going to go with all the base stamps first, and then I'll add the centers afterwards. The next one, we're going to do a little darker shade, the Chamomile. It's kind of a trumpety form. Oops. There we go. That's so pretty. I love all these colors together. And next one, is this more kind of an open bloom, Snapdragon. Go. It's fun, you can see how the colors are changing while we're going darker. And then maybe for one more lighter one, there we go. Going back to Sunray. Okay. So we're going to do the centers, and what I usually do is, for example, here with the Sunray Run 1, I'm going to go with the dark shader for the center, but you could change color if you wanted to. It's just that I think I just want, I like the idea of just going with the shade darker. There we go. So I use Sunray, so I'm going to go for Chamomile. Okay, let's do this layering bit. Let me just hover over it a teeny tiny bit. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to go with the next one. It is, I do like using my Misty tool for these kinds of things, but that one wasn't too bad. I'm not unhappy about that. So here I used Chamomile, so I'm going to go with a shade darker, which is Snapdragon. There we go. Okay, so I kind of missed a little spot there, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink that up again and go back a bit in. I saw that bit of white peeping out. So I'm just going to stamp over it and just stamp it a little bit lower so it kind of covers that. There we go. And now we're going to do the centers of these two more open blooms here. So where are they? One is here. Which one is which node? This one, I think. Yep. I'm going to take my tiny acrylic block, which is over here. I really need to clean my acrylic blocks. They're a bit icky. So I use Snapdragon for this one. So I'm going to go with Marigold for the darker shade. Oh yes, aren't they pretty, Pauline, these colors? I love these colors. They're so bright and cheerful. Hi there, Lotta. Ooh, yes. That sounds nice too. I'm kind of a color girl, so I'm always I never use a lot of gray, only if it's like for like little subtle elements. And we're going to go back here in with, so this one was Sunray, so we're going to go back in with Chamomile. And where is the other one? It's over here, down at the bottom. Or you could even go with a darker shade if you wanted to make it a bit more dramatic. I'm just going to go in. And I was just thinking, is this going to fit through my die cut machine? Ooh, I might have to cut off some of those edges. Hover. There we go. So I've got those done. And what I'm going to do is where are my scissors? I've got the hugest scissors in the whole wild world, and I think they've gone for a walk. Okay, I'll just take the smaller ones, which I don't like, but I'm just going to cut down some of the edges here so it will fit in my mini blossom die cut machine. Yeah, that should fit now. Okay, before we start die cutting all the elements, I'm going to create some fun extras. So in this set, you get this little stem and you've got little berries, or you've got these fun little kind of trumpety tiny flowers. So I'm going to create some of those. Now, if you have a look at the die set, you have to stamp the stem and then the trumpety elements, and then you can die cut it. You can't die cut them separately. So that's what I'm going to do now. I think I'm going to create 2 of those, and I'm going to go with those kind of little tiny blooms over there. And I should have taken out a green, just a normal crisp ink. Let's just turn around and see if I've got a green. Let's just pull out the first green set I can get my hands on, and boom. Oh, I might use another one. Yep, this one's good. I'm going to go with just green. So let's do some just green. A grey card. I know there was one with greys. I don't remember who made it. When I open the gallery, it's just full of amazing stuff. You just go, wow, wow, wow. I have to go back and have a look. So I'm going to create 2 of those. There we go. Keeping them very, very simple. And I thought it'd be nice just to add maybe a little contrast. So we might add another color. So my leaves are going to be blue. I'm going to be doing something. Oh, Sue, this is the design team gallery. I'm sorry. This is something we see before it all goes live. But we could suggest maybe like having like a gallery on the website or something with all the. So I wanted to do something with a very vibrant blue. So I'm going to do the azurite or azurite. All these names. There we go. I'm going to ink up these little dainty flowers. And we're going to stamp them. So just at the base where the stem ends. I'm just going to stamp them. Let's go. And I'm just hoping that I've stamped that correctly, and so that when I take the die, it will fit perfectly. Yay! I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, it would be nice to have like a whole, maybe when we do like the blog hop on the web, like on the blog, you maybe have like a little, you have like all the projects, and you click on it and you can have like a link to a gallery. I think it would be nice just to see all of the projects all together. There we go. That's nice and bright. Makes me think of bluebells. There we go. So I think I've got all of my floral elements. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stamp a couple of leaves. Okay, so for the leaves, you've got 2 layers as well. You've got like the base, and then you stamp another half, and it creates a darker shade. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be very lazy, because that's kind of something I do when I craft. I'm not a lazy person as such, but sometimes when I'm crafting, I don't have a lot of time. So I kind of take shortcuts. Yes, Lotta, this is the Floral Minimalism Stamp sets. Oh God. It's like one of those difficult words that you try to get a kid to say, and you're going to break it up, minimalism, and they say it all correctly, and then minimalism, and then they can't say it. I just can't say that word. So let's just stamp this once. I'm just going with just green. I want something a bit vibrant. Ooh, that one didn't stamp all too well. Let's just try and line it up again. Oh, that's not that pretty. Let's just do that one again. Let's just do this one again. Okay, that's better. So I think I've got all my elements ready for my first card. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut them out using the coordinating dies. So I'm going to start with these because I can cut them out all at once. So I'm just going to pop them on and take a little bit of washi tape, not washi tape, just painter's tape. If I can find mine. Oh, okay, I'm going to have to stand up. I dropped all the masks on the floor. Silly me. There we go. And I'm looking for my, oh, it's here. It's in its spot. It's just I thought it was somewhere else. I'm back. If we have it, we don't have a checklist, but we do have our what are they called? I'm going to show you. We have our swatches, and each time we come out with a new color, so we've got our swatches or our charts, which you can download. I'm going to show you mine, and so you can. There are different types. But you can like download these, and it's got the name on there, and you can add like a tiny stamp, and you can see I haven't got this one, and that way you have an idea which ones you have and which ones you don't. So you could always get like print these out onto the paper you usually use, like your white cardstock, and then just create your own swatches. So there we go. Urim has gone ahead and linked up all of the swatches. Thanks, Urim. I have to update mine because since we've had our new ink releases from a couple of months back, they aren't that new, but I haven't had time to print. Usually it's something one of my kids do. I'm gonna have to cut that afterwards because the dies are touching. So I just get my kids to do my swatches. Oh, would I rub my, it's not a bar of soap. It's an eraser. It's just one of those erasers I got like for free with a packet of, I think it was 20 or 25 pencils. So yeah, it's to season the stamps. It just makes the smooth, it like, especially if you've got new stamps, sometimes there's still like a little bit of residue on there from the manufacturer, or it's just like really new and it's really slippery surface, and the ink will just, when you add the ink, it kind of pools up on there. So you get, it kind of pools together in little dots, and when you stamp it, it's all blotchy. So it's a good idea just to pop that, do that. There are other techniques of, there are other techniques to season your stamps, but that's just one of them. So I'm going to pull out my little plates, and they have been really used. You can see one of them is all wonky, but it still cuts. So let's go. Let's just push it through, and here we go. Okay, I'm going to have to. I don't know if one of them, if they're going to cut. I'm going to have to move this up a bit. Okay, let me just see. I'm pulling it through again because some of the edges weren't. I do hope all of them are cut. Yeah, there's Urim and then there's Aram. They are both fabulous. There we go. The other one. And now we're just going to cut out that last one. So I'm just going to pull these away. Oh, now it's really getting warm here in my office with all my lights going. There we go. Last one to die cut, and then we can work on those little tiny ones. let's cut. Yeah, it's like there's Terry with 1 R and Terry with 2 R's and okay. So I've got my little flowers done over here, so I'm just going to put them on there, and now I still have to do my little leaves and these little so I'm just going to cut this down a little bit more. There we go. Once again, need a little bit of tape. Oh no, Jean, don't worry about it. I did it. I think at the really beginning I was going, ooh, Aram is moderating. No, it's Aram. Oh dear. Silly me. Happens to all of us. There we go. So here I'm just going to cut out all of those little leaves, and then I'll show you my little cheat trick to get some detail on there. Oh, swivel around. There we go. And I like the size of these leaves because you could even use them as petals and create your own little kind of flower with them. If you want to create maybe a sunflower, that would work really well. We've got 1 little leaf, 2 little leaves, 3 little leaves. Okay, I do know these have a little white border around them. I like that. I know some of you prefer just to have like no white border around it. But for this card, that little white border is going to help the whole composition, or those floral elements pop off that dark background. So I'm pretty happy that there is a little white border around it. Oh, you don't have to apologize, Christine. Welcome. I'm using the Floral Minimalism Stamp set, the dies, and I will be using the mask just a little bit later. Or the stencil. There we go. So that's the other one. And I know these ones are so cute, these little blue ones. So I said I was going to do leaves in blue, but I did the leaves in green anyway. Well, we'll do blue leaves afterwards. No, we won't do blue leaves. We don't have time. Oh, sorry, Jean. That's so funny. My name is Lilith, and so sometimes people, they kind of think you don't pronounce the ending. So sometimes I just hear Lily. And I remember when I was at school, people just called me Lily because they found my name like was too hard to pronounce or anything. And so now when I hear Lily, I just immediately look up as I'm thinking, oh, maybe they're calling me. Especially in French, when they don't say Lilith, they say Lilith. So it sounds a lot like Lily. So we're going to add our little details before we add our leaves. So as you can see, the leaves do stand out, but yeah, it's Lilith. And we don't pronounce the TH, it's just like a T, like in Thomas. There we go. And I'm going to take a black pen, and I'm just going to add a couple of details to my leaves. So, okay, that's going to be the top, that's going to be the bottom. So I'm just going to, it's easier when you've got the full page, but I'm just going to add them like so. I'm just going to add a fun little border and then whip up and then just add a couple of little doodled elements. And with this set, this works pretty well because it is already a very whimsical set. And so adding these little kind of doodled elements just is a really fun way to add a bit of detail to your card or your layout or your project. So I've got this fun watercolor background that I created for a project. This one was too dark, so I went lighter with the other one, and now I have this one just sitting all alone on my desk, and so I thought I'd use it in today's little composition. So I'm just going to see how I'm going to layer my flowers on here, just like so. That would be nice. There we go. Maybe have a little bit of that blue pop out here. Okay, let's just go like so. A little bit at the top. Like so. And then I can just add a couple of little leaves along the way. I haven't thought about a sentiment. I might add that a little bit later on. Just gonna have a look and see how this goes. Yep, I think I like that. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to stick that all down with my fabulous little dots. So I'm still working my way through these. And I was thinking I'm going to just put loads and loads and loads onto one project. And they just keep on popping up, my little foam squares. They are never ending. There we go. And this set is really fun because depending on the colors you choose, you're going to get lots and lots of different effects. Can go with something very dramatic and very simple, like Sue said, with maybe some grays or blacks. And you can make it very colorful and very fun, really fun colors, or maybe more muted tones, like with more pastel colors. There we go. Oops. I like little elements popping over the side, so ooh, what I don't like is this. I'm going to swap these around like so. Okay, that's better. That down. Ooh, little leafy. Well, I'm going to pop a larger leaf under there. Like so. Oops. Okay, one over there. There's still something not particularly right. Okay, that's maybe better. Okay, I'm gonna do it like so. This is something I like. Okay, that's better. Just gotta bunch them all together. Okay, and now all I have left to do is to pop on a little sentiment. And do I have a little sentiment? Yes or no? I have a teeny tiny sentiment strip. So let me just see. I'm going to take the stamp set back and maybe just stamp the stamp set. Oh, that's too small. Okay. These are little strips I had cut out. I'm just going to use one of those. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment. It says live simply. Just some black obsidian ink. Really quickly because I do want to show you the other technique, which is really fun, using our mixed media inks. So glue here. I'm going to pop this on there. There we go. I'm going to do it like such, like just having those round edges over there, and then just cut that off like so. And if you wanted to, you could add maybe some little sparkle or some of our little sequins. I don't know if I'm going to add the sequins or not. Probably not. I'm just going to leave it as such. If you had some sparkle, that would be nice. The sequins are just a bit too big. So there we go. That's the first one. Really fun, very simple. And if you wanted to wanted to continue on the doodling, you could doodle inside the flowers as well. But I'm going to leave it as such. Now, let's work on our next card. And I have some dark cardstock here. Okay. And I'm going to need some of the masks. Okay, so we've got a little masks here. There we go. And I'm also going to maybe take some of the leaves. And we're going to use our stencil. So we're not going to use the, you could use the stamp set, but I'm just going to use our little stencil and the masks. And we'll just see how it goes from there. This is going to be a lot more subtle. Okay, now, if you were working on black cardstock and you would take the Red Cosmos Crisp inks, you might see like a darker shading on it, but you wouldn't really be able to see the colors on it. So I'm going to be using my little finger dauber and these mixed media inks just to show you the effect. Now I'm just going to do this very simple, so we're not going to do anything with a lot of detail. So what I'm going to do, so this is a dauber I have already used for these inks. I kind of cleaned it by dabbing it onto some white paper just to get all the darker shade off. And I'm going to start with my lighter shade, and I'm just going to dab that into the frosty pink. And I'm going to just dab it onto my cardstock. And it's got, I did this on Craft. If you want to go and have a look at my blog, I made like a notebook, but the notebook cover was in Craft. And it has this really soft kind of velvety, soft finish to it when you're doing it on darker cardstock, this ink. And you can kind of build it up. You can also stamp if you want to, but I'm just going to kind of build this up a bit. And just dab it very softly. Don't dab too hard because you might take the color off and leave like the, there we go. So there we've got our first one. Now if you wanted to, you can mask it off, but if you want to mask it off, you have to, it has to dry, because otherwise the ink will just transfer onto the ink is just going to transfer onto your mask. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to heat set that a little bit just to make sure that it's dry. Oops, sorry, pulling my heat gun off its little hook. Once it's dry, it won't sew, but you need it to dry. It takes quite a long, if I dab my finger in now, you will see it's white. So it's just a little bit tacky, but it's okay. Now I think if I put my mask over it, it's going to be okay. Where is my mask for this one? Daisy, where did I put it? They did fall onto the floor, so maybe it's still somewhere see-through, and my floor is like creamy color. Where did I put that little mask? Oh, it's over here. Got it. Yay. The fun thing with the mask and the stencil is you can do it both ways. So you don't have to stick with one direction. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to gently place it on there. Okay, but because I heat set it with the heat gun, it shouldn't smear anymore. If you are working on fabric, you have to set it with an iron. And once it's set with an iron, it will stay. I made 2 t-shirts. I put them in the washing machine. I would advise not to wash them at a very high setting, like not too warm, but the colors are still there and it doesn't move. So I'm going to add, I'm going to add a different shade now. Yep, it is a pigment ink. So it's water-based, but it's a pigment ink. So I'm going to go with Coral Berry, and I'm going to add my other color. And because my mask is there, it's going to give the impression like this flower is behind it. So I'm going to stamp that in. So in the beginning, I'm going to get like a mix of colors because I've still got a little bit of that frosty pink on there. There we go. I'm just going to press that in there like so. And you get a very soft and velvety finish. Now, if you were to stamp, you would get it would be a lot crisper. I think just this is a really fun finish to have on a very dark cardstock. There we go. We're going to pull this one away too. There you can see that little flower over there. And so there you can see the ink that's on there, so I'm just going to wipe that off. Heat set this one as well. I just love the finish it gets when it's kind of set. It's like this really fun, soft kind of finish, like if it were textured. It's really... I'm going to add another one here. So once again, I'm going to mask these 2 off, like one here and the other one over here. You could like add a little bit of tape so that they don't move around, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it really simple. So once again, going to go in with my darker shade this time, which is the ruby red. Okay. I am just going to dab some of that color off because it is really juicy, not gooey, juicy. So let's go in with our ruby red, just ink that up nicely. Okay. So I've still got a bit of that frosty pink over there. That's okay. Let's start. I like the red on the black. Okay. I'm going to pull that off. And these wash off very easily, so if you want to go pop your mask into some water and a teeny bit of dish soap, they will wash off immediately. And there we go. So once again, I'm going to pop that to dry. Now, I haven't tested this yet, but I wanted to see if I could go over it with a white gel pen. It would have been fun just to add a bit of color, but just a bit of a little bit of extra. I don't know if it's going to work. Yeah, it's working. I'm just going to just doodle around the edges a little bit. So I'm just adding a little bit of doodle around the edges. Of my little white pen. And if you wanted to, you could add more detail. I'm just going to go around the edges. Just like so. And then I'm just going to add a couple of stems. And then just hand draw some leaves on there. And then just stamp maybe with some white embossing powder. You could stamp a little sentiment, and there you go. So as you can see, those foam dots are not sticking. I just only put one on there, so I'm gonna have to go back in there. Oops, come on, stay on there. I'm sure that's because we've got the, so 2 different cards with the same set. There we go. I like this one, the doodled one. I love doodling. So there we go. I'm going to pop you back up. So say hello again to my ceiling. And I'm going to walk you over and then flip you around, and you're going to see my face again. So there we have it, 2 very different cards using our Floral Minimalism Stamp set for one, and then using the coordinating dies to cut out all our pretty flowers. Let me just hold it up. I hope it doesn't fall off. I have to rearrange it again. It kind of fell into pieces. These foam dots don't hold really well on watercolor bases. It's a very rough base, this one. There we go. So here you can see, oh, I'm maybe going to flip my screen. Let me just see. No. Oh, no, that's my wall. That's the wall again. Sorry. Silly me. Where do I do that? Oh, I can't. See, it's not sticking. Let me just add a bit of glue. Foam dots be gone, I think. I've seen the last of those. I'm going to pop them away. So there we go, stuck down now. So here you can see this one. And then what I did here is I used the mixed media inks to create these kind of very subtle flowers just with the stencil, and using the masks to mask off different areas. And then I just doodle around the edges with a white border, and then you would just need to add a little sentiment, or if you have got really nice handwriting or you do lettering, you could add your own sentiment by hand. So there you have it, a very, very versatile set. I created a layout with it with kind of a ledger design, so lots of possibilities with this one, and it's a really fun, cute set to use, and I'm sure if you have it in your stash you will use it in many ways as well. So thank you so much for joining. I am going to try and reposition my flowers on here so that I can take a picture of it tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me. A huge shout out to who's been moderating and popping in all the links. I hope you've maybe learned something new, or that you feel inspired to try something, or maybe have a look at the Alter New Mixed Media inks. I was really afraid to use them, and now I can't stop them. I think I bought about 5 white plain t-shirts so that I can customize them. So there are really lots of fun ways to use and the stamps and the inks. So Thank you for joining me. Thank you for popping in and saying hello. I hope I haven't missed any questions, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye. Have a lovely evening or day wherever you are. See you.